This is the walled garden of Islay House, at Bridge End on the island of Islay in Argyll. Originally created by a wealthy family, it's now a community garden, one of a network of 4 in Islay, Kintyre and Gia. These visitors are from Sweden, but they're not just tourists.
So this would have been the kitchen garden to the big house. The landowners really only came here for 6 or 8 weeks during the summer.
They're here as part of a local produce initiative that aims to enhance the environment, strengthen communities and secure a healthy and sustainable future. Local produce is managed by Tarbert and Skipness Community Trust and funded by Leader, part of Scotland's Rural Development Programme. But while local produce aims to promote the social, environmental and economic benefits of sourcing food locally, it's plugged into the wider world. It has a partnership with Skåne in Sweden, where these visitors, all food producers, come from.
We are trying to find some new ideas and get inspired with all your nice work here. Now we are here in this lovely garden with all the vegetables and your different products, and it's really, really interesting.
So what are you eating just now?
Beautiful raspberry. It's really, really delicious. Absolutely.
Bridge End Community Garden has been providing local produce in Islay since 2005. Its fruit and veg are popular with tourists and, like local farmers, the garden is seeking to increase its local produce sales to island residents. Islay hotels are already customers and the garden is actively seeking other outlets.
There's all that wonderful vegetables and fruit particularly they've got, but it seems to me that they have quite a problem, or we all have a bit of a problem, of how to get that to everybody else on the island. Because the locals find it easier, on the whole, just to walk into the supermarket and buy everything, all the rather tired vegetables there. And if they would once get used to the terrificness of the really fresh and in many cases organically grown produce here, they wouldn't go back to the supermarkets, I don't think.
Local produce has received support from Leader for a variety of projects in Argyll that allow people to increase their knowledge and skills as well as to enjoy the benefits of local food. These folks are volunteers at the Tarbert Community Healing Gardens in North Kintyre. Their garden is actually a network of green spaces around the town. At the centre is the Healing Garden in the grounds of the local health centre. A variety of community and school groups use the garden, and it's popular with patients and their relatives.
Part of the design of the garden is to have meditational, sort of quiet, contemplative spaces where people can, if they've got bad news or they're waiting on whatever, they can actually sit down, talk to each other or just be on their own quietly. So it is very much a kind of healing place so that people can, because it's to do with health and well-being and, perhaps receiving bad news, they might sort of want to be quiet for a moment.
It does also provide that community participation spirit, which we've found to be a great thing in Tarbert. It functions well here at the garden, it functions well here at the castle, where we have similar sort of community events and community volunteering, and I think it brings people together.
I had just moved to Tarbert, and I thought after a week or two I must really get involved in something, and I was down seeing doctor, and the receptionist was very interested in this project, and she said, "Why don't you come along? We're having just an open meeting on Friday in the surgery." So I went along, and that's the story, that's the beginning. Can't remember, that was probably about 2005.
In South Kintyre lies Campbellton Community Organic Garden, run by the Kintyre Environmental Group. Volunteers get lots of healthy exercise and company, but the garden also seeks to provide long-term employment, training and education.
So the history of this garden was basically a kitchen garden with 3 gardeners for this beautiful house at the front, which is now an Eventide home. And the location of our resource centre, which is an education area for school groups or for adults as well, and a bit of a bothy really for the workers, that apparently was the site of an old orangery. So that's quite an incredible bit of history. It's a shame that all the mechanics of that aren't there.
Over on Gia, a community allotment garden has been set up by the island's Heritage Trust with support from local produce. It's providing islanders with training, a chance to develop their skills and to be part of a healthier, more sustainable community.
You pay your dues every year as you would with an allotment, so everyone gets their own little plot. They get the land here, they get a certain amount of room in the polytunnel. They've also got room in the shed and the tools are provided, and we've all got our own set of tools, and there's communal things like a rotavator. And again, because that's quite heavy, I mean I can't lift it on my own, then it's a case of people helping each other out and doing what they can. And once you've done that, that's it to grow whatever you like for the year, really.
It's a feeling of working together, but you're on your own as well. You've all got your own bit of land to do what you want to do with it. But we get together and we have seed swaps and little meetings about things, and we've all had an input into how it was going to go.
Recently, Gia's garden, like local produce's other 3 community gardens, was given an exciting opportunity to learn and exchange ideas. Leader funded 12 Argyll folk, from gardeners to teenagers who'll be the farmers of tomorrow, to pay a visit to the Swedish producers they'd met earlier in the year. It was an exciting, transnational opportunity to look, taste and learn. First stop, a 5th generation farmer raising rare breed sheep, despite his broken leg.
Does it taste different? I think sometimes the rare breeds have a slightly wilder taste.
Well, that mostly depends on the food it gets, I guess. So.
And it's compared to like New Zealand, which has a huge market and it's just this massive one taste.
The owners of the tomato house took the brave decision to downsize, but to improve the quality of what they produced. They branched out into artisan baking and running a cafe, providing job opportunities for their own children. The next morning, the group visits an 8th generation arable farm. As well as producing crops for the mass market, the family now press oilseed rape into high-quality specialist oils to sell directly to shops and restaurants. Another innovation is this burner.
Yeah. We have saved much money with that one.
Straw from the rape crop is converted into heat for the family home and to dry 20,000 tonnes of crops a year. It saves the farmer a €40,000 bill for oil each year. This family-owned potato farm adds value to its crop by making artisan crisps, which it sells in its well-stocked farm shop.
And then we have some beetroots and parsnips and other things too, because we use them when we do chips. And that's a new thing we have done this year. So from midsummer and we start to do our own crisps. And that's unusual that you grow and do at the same place. So I think we're the first in Sweden.
The group grabs lunch at a local farmer's market that was founded by Marcus, a Swede who'd returned from America.
I think that these kind of markets, they fill a function both on a level of like, yeah, we bring healthier foods, fresher foods, with way less transportation and way quicker. The chain is way shorter. But we also fill this market fills a very important social function, where especially the older people, but anybody, there's nowhere in our society where you meet other people. We don't even have the pub culture that you guys do. Well, I would assume you have. I know in England they have it. You know, in America they have a pub culture where you can go to the pub and you meet people, you meet friends. And I've seen a lot of older people who used to be at the old farmers markets here 30 and 40 years ago. They recognize this, and they you know, usually are really, really happy that we're here.
This farm raises cattle, pigs and sheep. Profit margins are tight, so the farmer cuts out the middleman by selling his best meat in his own shop. This young couple have started an asparagus farm.
So then we bought plants that were 2 years old, and they have grown for 1 year. And then this spring we started to harvest. Only a short while, 10 days.
It's small scale, but they maximise profit by selling directly to the public. Purple Living is a market garden and shop created out of hard work and enthusiasm.
Bought this farm 4 years ago. 1st of October it was 4 years ago. And we had 1 month from we get here till we open the shop. And it looked like this.
Wow. Today they sell plants they raise themselves and other quality local products. Soon they plan to offer gardening lessons. Another day. This is a community garden in a low-income area of Helsingborg, where many immigrants and refugees live.
We started in Helsingborg with Plantations Without Borders, 2010, in the middle of the city, with 9 boxes, actually these ones that are here now, and then there were 9 different immigration associations that took responsibility for each box, and it was a success.
Sean and Douglas, both Kintyre farmers' sons, are in their element down on this Swedish farm.
If a pig's pregnant, it'll wait until the worst night to give birth, we found out. They always have the driving rain on the snow, the ice. That's when ours always gave birth. So we had to end up taking our piglets off her, and we had them in the house.
Turning a few hectares of a large arable farm over to strawberries for the public to self-pick is working well for another farmer. It doesn't make much money, but it does draw the public to the family's farm shop. That shop has now become the centre of a popular farmers' market. This farmer decided to expand his business by raising chickens.
And we started with 50 chickens, and then 50 chickens sold. We just sold them. Then we started with 100 chickens, again sold. And then we raised it up to 200, and again.
Then, beginning with second-hand equipment and using an existing farm building, he began slaughtering and processing the chickens himself.
So nowadays we are slaughtering maximum 500 chickens a day in here.
There's time for a quick lunch and a busy market before the Argyll group meets the last producer in the packed 3-day tour.
What we do here is we have goats. The milking goats are in that area. The other goats are over there. And then we have pigs. So what we do here is that we make cheese.
The farm offers educational tours for schools, but the main business is goats. The young males go for meat, while the females are milked for cheese production. Despite having already eaten, our group tucks in.
Well, please just come up and take, and I will try not to chuck your fingers off.
And what is the difference then? Which cheese are we trying now?
The tour is over. What are the outstanding impressions?
For me, the most important things have been to see how the group has come together and to see that everybody has learned something different.
Of all the people that we've been to visit, it's been the passion that they've spoken about their projects, and it's inspired me to get out and do more.
They've found a whole range of different avenues and they've not been scared to take those risks.
So I feel quite fired up, as I say, and enthusiastic, and ideas have just come from everywhere, and everyone's just been brilliant.
What started me is the agriculture. I like the farming. I'm in the farming at the moment. I like the arable crops with the oilseed rape, how he's making his own oil.
Well, the bigger, not the small holdings, I found really interesting. I'll be able to help maybe say stuff to my dad and give him ideas.
The innovation, the passion, the invention of all these different people, and also the people we've travelled with. That's been a real pleasure and a real joy, just to get to know local people and to feel that camaraderie and the willingness to just learn.
That's something that I'll certainly take back to Isla, is how with the community working together they can improve and enhance their business, their life, I suppose.